This is Cybert signing into Red Alert 3 on the map Carville. It has been a while since we have seen this chaotic, messy map, but welcome back to Carville. And kicking off this 2v2v2 in the north as the Purple Empire, this is Rose. Their ally as the Blue Allies, this is Happy Together. And I'm going to have to turn on the UI to find these guys. Ooh, going for the plays right away. This is N12A, kicking it as the Soviets, who goes for the barracks block on the refinery. Instead of going down here to the refineries that he can take, he wants to deny the refineries of his opponent. Anyways, teaming up with N12A, this is Milan, playing as the Orange Allies, as the Yellow Soviets, this is Glitch. And you saw running for the hills early on, this is Sabrina. So a bunch of these players do have numbers at the end of their names, but overall it's actually kind of a nice group of names. Some definitely pronounceable names in here. Only one that's a total mystery to me, N12A. But we'll do our best anyways, and, well, as oft happens with Carville, we do have a bit of wildness. Milan dropping that multi-gunner turret to help out this assault, and right from the gate, Happy Together is down to one refinery, quite possibly soon down to 0 refineries, as these flak troopers get one mine on that prospector, but not a second mine to actually kill the prospector off. Barracks coming in from Rose to help deal with this. Peacekeeper and some dogs are here. Milan continuing to pump out more and more forces to help defeat Happy Together. The conscript goes down, but the flak troopers are still here, and that harvester is still off the line, so Happy Together really is dead in the water. A dog is here, but that multi-gunner turret is doing a great job of keeping the Happy Together's forces away from the fight. The refinery tries to get back online, and it just doesn't work. Great stutter step here from N12 to avoid that MCV. Just enough micro to keep everyone alive, except for the bears that just got crushed because he's too busy controlling the flak troopers. Well, everyone has their limit, and it looks like we just ran into N12's limit, so Peacekeeper, or no Peacekeeper left to keep those units contained, and it looks like Happy Together might finally be able to kick out these forces, but even so, it's going to be a difficult road to try and establish himself. Going right into a super reactor off of one refinery, and honestly, N12 could head back up to the high ground, but he thinks that Sabrina is up there, setting herself up very nicely on the high ground and taking all 4 refineries, but that is actually not the case, so either one of the players could have stayed, and they both chose to run. New barracks gets established by Happy Together. New barracks coming in from N12 as well. Multi-gunner turret may need to be replaced into a different location, and Milan may actually want to turn their forces to the north and instead try and help kill Happy Together. Engineer coming in. The crush does not happen. The engineer does manage to grab that barracks, and while shutting down the barracks, every little bit does help. Suddenly, N12, I feel like he's made some big mistakes, and he and Milan could have definitely killed Happy Together, but now Happy Together and Rose have a shot at coming back in this game. Sabrina up to the high ground, the first of potentially 4 refineries to be taken on that high ground platform. The multi-gunner turret getting some nice shots against that Tengu, and it looks like the rest of the base will be kept safe by those Tengus, at least for now. I think we have actually calmed down. Whoa, that second refinery was so late. Milan, actually took these refineries over here, so that's going to be refinery 3 and 4, not refinery number 2. So Milan is actually pretty well set up, all things considered. 4 refineries at this stage of the game is just about more than anyone else. 3 refineries for Glitch, soon to be 4, it looks like, for Glitch. Big thanks to the folks who support the channel over on Patreon, especially the guys who have been supporting the channel for a good long time, like OzMedia, Mediastorm, Deadly Shadow, Anoxic, Spud, TheArbiter, Admiral Akbar 47, and Isaac H. Big thanks to all of those guys for the long time support of the channel. Some of those guys over a year, and I'm really appreciative of that, but also the newcomers like George M. I'm not sure that I'm saying that correctly. I just realized it's not spelled the way I would normally spell George. Chris T, Tomcat, Lieutenant Victor, and Kuro. Multi-gunner turret gets established. Milan going to be taking everything over from N12, and that is going to be 2 potential build queues that Milan now has to split up with these forces. Nice target by that laser lock of the Javelin Soldier to shut down that super reactor. You don't want that Soviet player to have that tech for free. You want to make sure that you're able to take that down. And Milan is now in a 1v2v2 and is going to be under pretty consistent threat from Happy Together. I can only imagine the hope of vengeance is going to be strong with Happy Together. And I think Glitch and Rose are sort of realizing maybe at the same time, hey, no one is actually on the island. There's 6 refineries here, 2 oil derricks that can be taken just completely for free. Sabrina down on the water as well, taking some of those water expansions, taking some of the high ground expansions in the top left-hand corner also. So very easily I could see Glitch and Sabrina becoming a real power team. Milan is engaged in a fight with Rose and Happy Together, so that could definitely distract them while Glitch and Sabrina just take over the map, and that might be exactly what happens, in which case we are going to see a super power couple come to life and potentially just dominate the rest of this 2v2v2. It's up to Milan, Happy Together, and Rose to figure out which one of them is going to survive to face Sabrina and Glitch. A lot of Tengus, couple of Vindicators as well, everything coming in. Prospector is going to have to run for the hills, goes immediately to turn into a command hub, so trying to save as much as he can. Rose starting to take a look at the middle of the map, but perhaps a bit too late. A war factory there from the Soviet and from the Allies. Maybe not from the Soviet. I guess all this stuff is just walking over from the war factory back on the mainland. And yeah, that's going to be some additional refineries for Glitch. Milan, I feel like, is just going to have a big blind spot to the left of them. They're not going to be thinking about Sabrina and Glitch. Milan is going to be focused more on trying to kill off Happy Together. I guess that would be the most impressive way that this game could go, is if Milan takes it. You know, Sabrina and Glitch have all of this free time to take the whole map and get fully powered up and all of this stuff. And then Milan is coming in here with actually a decent force. There's a real ability for Milan to kill, potentially. Well, maybe not with the Empire reinforcements coming in. Dog gets a great roar-off on those. Well, I guess it's more of a bark-off on those Peacekeepers, and the falling Chopper VX takes down some of them. Another Chopper VX goes down on the retreat, and this refinery is now going to be under threat. Laser locking down the MCV. He packs it up to break the laser lock. First Peacekeeper is out. There isn't a lot of defense here from Milan, but, well, to stop the Peacekeeper, but the Peacekeeper will fall eventually. The MCV coming in for the crush, and the Tengus absolutely slaughtering these Javelin soldiers. Not without losses, though. That was not a clean cleanup by any means. And that MCV really absorbing a lot of the DPS from that army so that Milan could be pushed back. And unfortunately for Milan, the 2v1 is just a little bit too powerful for them. Sells off the naval yard, has retaken some of these. Oh, that's, I'm no expert in Red Alert 3, but I think that's maybe too many Vindicators for one single multi-gunner turret. I guess if you don't have the Vindicator upgrade, then I guess you need 3 Vindicators. But still, 4 is too many for that one single multi-gunner turret. Oil derrick has been taken by Rose. Other oil derrick taken by Glitch. And, well, that's the state of the oil derricks. I'm sure you were all very excited to hear about the oil derrick updates. This refinery seems like an obvious one to take. Rose might try and secure this one, but Glitch, I feel like, has an easy take there, or potentially Sabrina as well, depending on how much they're communicating and how much the two of them are deciding to split up these resources. You know, sometimes players, they're in comms, they're talking over, they're discussing strategies or how much cash one of them has, and they're like, hey, there's an easy-to-take refinery. Do you want it? Should I take it? And then sometimes you're just in a game with randos and, you know, there's no communication at all. You're just playing to have fun. First cryocopter coming out for Happy Together. And finally, with that cryocopter, maybe Happy Together can start to move out and make some real headway. One thing that's always annoying on this map is the buildings. Got to clear those out sooner or later. And Rose doing a good job of garrisoning those up just to cause some problems. I don't know if that's part of a bigger strategy. It seems like maybe Rose doesn't have a bigger strategy to contest the middle of the map. But having the buildings can be a good first step to a strategy. Bullfrogs and IFVs absolutely slaughtering those Tengus. They literally had no chance. That was so much anti-air firepower coming for them. And right now, I don't know that... What are you doing? Don't drive on the bridge! Why are you doing that? I don't know that these guys are communicating or even looking at their screens entirely. Unfortunately for Glitch, Glitch was not paying attention. His Twin Frog combo, which was, I think, all hotkeyed or controlled together, was going across that bridge. The Twin Blades, of course, unharmed by the collapse of the bridge. The Bullfrogs not quite as unharmed. And now, yeah, the Bullfrogs, poor Bullfrogs, they're trying to path to just about the most impossible spots because they're grouped together with these Twin Blades, despite the fact that the two units traverse very differently. And unfortunately for Glitch, that is going to be the death of a number of his Bullfrogs. He probably has, I think, more than enough. 4 or 5 Bullfrogs is usually plenty for most situations. But I guess in a 2v2v2, more is pretty much always better. Almost snipes the tier 2 Mecha Bay, but doesn't quite get it. Always sad when you have to give up on a target like that. But it probably would have cost the Twin Blades, which actually might be worth it. I don't know. It's a 2v2v2 where your opponent has 2 War Factories. Sniping one of them and getting a guaranteed kill might actually be worth it, even if you have to sacrifice a couple of Twin Blades. Sabrina with the first aircraft carrier coming on out. Glitch starting to push in on the ground in the south. Cryo shot comes down. Doesn't quite catch the tanks. Barely. That tank does get frozen right on the edge of the range. And the Bear's going to be coming in here. They're too late to kill that Peacekeeper. Moments too late. And, well, that shrunk down hammer tank is actually a little bit better because it doesn't take as much damage directly from those Javelin soldiers. One multi-gunner turret is here, but the Cryocopter is the real ability for this guy to hold this off. And I think this is actually a multi-MCV play from... Oh, that refinery is a great position. I hate when you're in that situation where you misplace a refinery. I think this is a multi-MCV play. Yeah, it is. Look at that, 2 MCVs from Milan, taking a little bit of a page out of C9Q9MD's book and going for the multi-MCV on Carville, which I know we've got some other team games in this subscriber replay showcase, but I actually don't know if we have any C9 games. I think I have one more C9 game from somewhere. This is so many Twin Blades coming in. The Black Hole armor is good, and these Hydrofoils do shred Twin Blades, but is it going to be fast enough? 4 or 5 Hydrofoils should be enough. Plus the Apollos coming in here, absolutely brutalizing these Twin Blades. Every single Twin Blade goes down, and the Bullfrogs are there to watch it. Some of those allied naval units do get cleaned up, but not all of them. One random Hydrofoil coming in from Sabrina. I'm not sure what the pathing was there. I think these units were told to cross the map, basically, and they kind of got path one way. Some of them got pathed one way, and some of them got pathed the other way. That is an insane army of Bullfrogs crashing those aircraft drones into that refinery. And a couple of EMP'd Bullfrogs will cut down the numbers, but still enough that they stop those aircraft drones. A couple of bombs do fall on that refinery, clean it up. Milan making some progress against Glitch, and actually happy together going for the freeze on this aircraft carrier. The EMP does not lock down those Tengus. They do find their mark, and they're slowly but surely bringing down those 2 aircraft carriers, burning them to the ground. The Harvester goes down. The refinery might be the next target. And Rose and Happy together, not going down without a fight. A Spectrum Tower, something we do not see very often, but here it is. And the Cryocopters can go ahead and freeze that down eventually to eliminate it. MCV getting repositioned. Is this going to be for some kind of tower defense, which we could see a big cryoblast firing off all of these Bullfrogs getting locked down? Nothing to really kill them necessarily, but the aircraft carriers can eliminate them sort of one by one. Or you could EMP them now that they are frozen in place, keep them locked down for a little bit longer and start going for the MCV or something else. Spectrum Tower does get deployed. Hydrofoil starts weapons jamming it immediately. Only one Bullfrog dying in the great freeze of the high ground. And for now, it's just going to be a battle back and forth. The hydrofoils and the aircraft carriers trying to whack-a-mole these Tesla coils as quickly as they can. Aircraft carriers getting protected by the assault destroyers, the hydrofoils as well getting protected by those assault destroyers, and eventually the Riptides get eliminated. Twin Blades coming back in for another pass. Surgical Strike is here, hitting that assault destroyer, and these Twin Blades just getting shredded once more. Try again. But just keep doing the same thing and see if it works a little bit better this time. Sentry Bombers now coming in. The Great Air Massacre of 2022. What is it with Carville and people just sacrificing Sentry Bombers on it? Insane DPS coming out from the anti-air of our team down on the water. Milan by himself, really. Team is maybe a bit of an overstatement since he's been playing most of this game at this point by himself. That MCV so low on health, and now the aircraft drones are coming for it once again, crashing and burning into the ground. They do not get it. They get it. The MCV goes down, and those aircraft drones with their last bits of health do manage to land the attack. Athena cannons get EMP'd, and they're going to get locked down by that aircraft carrier. Second Athena cannon needs to be cleaned up by the other aircraft carriers before it comes out of EMP, and there we go. Nicely done there by Milan, and Milan is not taking this line down. This double MCV play, multi-gunners and aircraft carriers combined, fighting on two fronts, Glitch and Sabrina versus Milan versus Happy Together, and Happy Together is not winning despite the fact that most of the attention has been focused between Milan and Glitch for the last couple of minutes. On the north side of the map, well, an attempt by Sabrina to break down Happy Together's expansion, but how much more is Sabrina really going to be able to do? We'll see if these Dolphins are able to take down some of these naval forces. Looks like a big crowd of Dolphins might be able to do some damage, but how much will they really get done? Aircraft carriers and assault destroyers are going to have to reposition to defend this area. Refinery goes down. First aircraft carrier is getting targeted. And some satellites also raining down. A little bit of cash back there for Glitch. Big Tengu transform as everybody is joining forces. And the Tengus get taken down by the satellites that were meant for the aircraft carrier. But the Cryogeddon will freeze all before it. And no, the assault destroyer's black hole armor absorbs the Cryogeddon. And actually this aircraft carrier getting caught by the Emperor's Rage gets the benefit of faster attacking, but slower movement speed. Happy Together gets pushed back, Sabrina gets pushed back, Rose gets pushed back, and Glitch's falling satellites do not have the effect that they hoped. Wow, Happy Together is just getting brutalized by Milan in this game. Happy Together really cannot catch a break. Oh, one, maybe two tsunami tanks going down in that instance. Those tsunami tanks just driving back and forth, dodging bombs like crazy. Milan slowly but surely making progress. All right, let's see. It didn't work the last two times, but let's see if a smaller group of Twin Blades can somehow break the impenetrable fleet of the Allies. When you got this many hydrofoils, and a couple of them fully heroic as well, it can be a real problem. At least one of them fully heroic. Another one double vet, another just a single veterancy chevron. Milan facing a bit of damage from these hammer tanks once again. I forgot about the hammer tanks, yeah. Glitch really needs to be hitting the ground for, like, a couple of V4s, a couple of hammers, and maybe some bullfrogs could completely lay waste to that section of the map. One Athena cannon isn't going to be enough versus all of those aircraft carriers, and I really feel like Milan could be focusing on the production instead of trying to bomb all of these individual peacekeepers. Go for the production, man. Kill the war factory, the barracks, the MCV, and the airfield, and that's basically done. I mean, I guess they could, you know, still harvest some resources, but really, Happy Together will be out of the game, and then you could focus on the other two. That aircraft carrier getting blocked, that single drone. A little clump of 4 turrets taken out by the Chrono Rift. Another clump of 4 turrets shut down by the Cryoblast. And the hydrofoils are here. The Dolphins, not so much. And the thing about hydrofoils is they are micro-intensive. And when you've only got 3 of them and you've got 5 weapons to jam, you run out of weapons jamming at some point. Happy Together making some progress with an infantry army. He finds the damage against Milan, and this might be where Milan starts to fall apart, as getting targeted from the high ground. The Athena cannons are finding their mark. Another surgical strike. Not enough to kill the aircraft carrier, but enough to weaken it. And there goes the Athena cannon blast. That particle cannon coming down from the sky, just eliminating aircraft carrier after aircraft carrier. And I think the 3 Athena cannons focusing one target is a really good plan for dealing with Milan's navy. Aegis Shield absorbs a good number of bombs. EMP locks down one of the Athena cannons, and Glitch starting to make some headway in the south. 3 multi-gunner turrets against all of these hammer tanks, and the shrunken down hammer tanks sometimes able to avoid those blasts, but finally the hammer tanks decide to just deal with these multi-gunner turrets, which, you know, if you focus down them one at a time, they will die a bit faster than if you constantly switch targets again and again and again. 1 Bullfrog here to push away 1 Cryocopter, and he's not quite gonna get it. The freeze is a little too strong. No, he gives up! He stops freezing! So the Cryocopter will escape for the current moment, but Milan continuing to take more and more damage. Peacekeepers are here to try and hold the line, and the MCV is so close to death. Milan probably should just chase that down and go for the kill. The MCV's so close, but there it goes! Sabrina placing a beacon as well, probably trying to indicate something to Glitch about a weakness in their opponent. No super weapons. We're this late into this game and we haven't seen a super weapon. The Apollo getting the party started early. Another cryo shot is going to fire down. The hydrofoils aren't really here to be seen, but the multi-gunner turrets are. The Chrono Rift takes a couple of the aircraft carriers out of the equation, and these twin blades are the only 2 to survive in like 3 or 4 waves of twin blade attacks. Those have not been going well, and yet they still get attempted, and even those 2 twin blades do get knocked down. Random engineer just hanging out next to these peacekeepers, and no MCV, no war factory. It's all about the airfield for Happy Together. That is all he's got. I mean, he can at least get up to tier 2 and, you know, get some cryocopters or something, but not a lot that you can do just with just 1 airfield. Unless you're really good with the micro. You can get some Vindicators out on the field, and ooh, that just move over here. Just drive to the right, just a little bit to the right, and you'll be safe. Sabrina takes the oil derrick at some point. Rose on the low ground, trying to hold on to that. The Bullfrog does go down, and well, I guess eventually that terror drone got cleaned up one way or another. This airfield is really. Oh, no, you don't need to kill the peacekeeper. Go for the airfield. Airfield is money in this case. Just kill the airfield, and then kill the refinery as well. But kill the airfield. Okay, airfield is gone. These Vindicators have very limited usefulness. The peacekeepers are running away. Go for the refinery. Just go for the refinery. And then we'll pretty much be done with another player in this game. Bit of a crowd of Chopper VXs. Not good against the Javelin soldiers. I can definitely sympathize with Rose, where you've got a cool crowd of Empire air units, and you're like, I'm going to go do some attacking. And then you see the exact wrong thing on the ground. You're like, oh, okay, all right. Happy Together has been defeated. Rose versus Milan versus Sabrina and Glitch. And now if Sabrina and Glitch don't win, it feels a little bit silly. Sabrina and Glitch, they've taken like half the map. These guys have to be, aren't they floating just huge amounts of cash? All right, Chrono Rift takes these Wave Force artillery out of the equation for just a moment, and the Peacekeepers rush forward and break them down. PKs versus Tengus, but the Tengus are just here to clean up the Peacekeepers, who have already done the damage that they needed to do. And those Peacekeepers getting cleaned up is the best consolation prize that you could ask for. But it is still a consolation prize. Okay, so Milan spending a good amount of cash, only floating 4K. Rose only at 14,000 for Glitch, and Sabrina is actually spending all of their money as well. So only Glitch is the one that's really floating, which is kind of surprising. I thought Glitch... oh my... Well... That is the what you want to see. You never want to see that, and we get to see it. This is something you never want to see on your mini-map coming towards you. The sentry bombers are going to be leading the way, and Milan is still going to do a bit of damage up here on the high ground. No, move over, get the Athena cannons. He's probably too focused in the south as Tanya comes in as well, and I think this might just be unlimited destruction. Never mind, Tanya gets sniped by the spy in the IFV, and that IFV is just going to snipe down javelin after javelin, and well, that IFV now getting healed up, and the javelin soldiers getting cleaned up, and that will do it for that, and goodbye javelin soldiers. That was a nice first wave of the attack, but the real wave is these Kirovs. Gonna have to probably split off a couple of Kirovs to a little bit further south, clean up that power plant, and really shut Milan down. Just a wall of Kirovs coming in here. Natasha even trying to get in on the action. I think she just got assassinated, though. So Natasha not even very useful in this moment. It's just about these Kirovs. Which, by the way, little tip, I believe if you set Kirovs to attack move, or not attack move, aggressive stance, Alt-A on your keyboard, then fly them over stuff, they will drop bombs and fly, kind of like you see here. And so you don't actually have to stop over the target to kill it, you can just fly over it, and you will do so much damage as you drive over top of it that it will defeat it. Hydrofoils are cool, Apollos are cool, but the Apollos literally don't have enough bullets in them to kill all of these Kirovs. The Hydrofoils do, on the other hand. Cryogeddon coming down, the Kirovs continuing to blast forward. Athena cannons on the high ground, adding insult to injury, but ultimately unnecessary with this insane Kirov fleet bombing this base into smithereens. Down to Davy Jones' locker they go, never to return to the surface world. And say what you will about Glitch's play, I definitely, had some critiques, but oh my gosh, Glitch's play is now phenomenal. Favorite player in the game, the guy who builds this many Kirovs and just goes insane. Okay, these Tengus actually will kill the Kirovs relatively quickly. You wanna deal with the Tengus. You don't want to leave the Tengus just hunting your Kirovs, getting more and more heroic statuses, because they burn through Kirovs pretty quickly, especially the more heroic that they are. I mean, I guess they're not attacking any Kirov right now, but they do pretty good anti-air damage, and that's a little bit sad. No MiGs to help out these Kirovs. Chopper VX is going to be transforming. Milan fought probably the best player in this game overall. I mean, all things considered, Milan was doing a 1v2v2 for most of that game and did an amazing job of shutting down most of the stuff that was being thrown at them until the unbeatable wall of Kirovs came out of nowhere. Tengus get cleaned up by the Bullfrogs, and, well, one Bullfrog will defeat, kind of like the Tengus murdering all of the Kirovs. The Bullfrogs murder the Tengus. This is, like, so sad for the Empire player. Rose just by themselves trying desperately one by one. Oh, why would you transform? That's a terrible idea. I mean, I guess it does allow you to escape the Kirov, but, like, you're going to have to wait for that transform timer before you can flip back over. Into speed mode, afterburners ignite, and these Kirovs are here to stay. even if you kill all of the Kirovs. Ooh, perfect. I mean, hey, making whatever you can of this. Rose is doing absolutely everything that they possibly can to turn this situation around. The MCV can outrun the Kirovs. The Kirov turn radius is just like, it's too slow. And the Kirovs burned themselves into nothingness almost. Womp womp. The MCV didn't actually run away. Javelin soldiers coming in to help clean up those stompy chopper VXs. The Tengu does reign supreme, but this last power plant I think is going to go down, and then the chopper VX will transform. And oh my gosh, that fully heroic chopper VX with the Emperor's Rage shoots rockets so unbelievably fast before he gets cleaned up by the IFVs. Terror Drone infects the MCV, and I think there's literally nothing on the map left to heal that MCV, so that is going to be it. Glitch and Sabrina eventually do it, and they do it in style. They made us wait for it, but the wall of Kirovs is absolutely worth the wait. And Milan did an amazing job. I mean, all things considered, Milan did far better than I ever would have, especially in a 1v2v2 situation. But at the end of the day, Rose, Happy Together, N12, and Milan all falling to Sabrina and Glitch, who were able to take over like half of the map. And what a great 2v2v2 to start us out on. And that will do it for game number 1. Let's jump into our next match. And that game number 2 takes us to Snowplow. So from a 2v2v2 to a 1v1 in the north as the Yellow Soviets. This is Dimon. And in the south as the Blue Allies, this is DutchArmy. Good old DutchArmy. This game is from January, and, well, let us see. For those of you who don't know, Dimon and DutchArmy have been practice partners in the past, or maybe it's more accurate to say that Dimon has been coaching DutchArmy over the last couple of years. And I don't know, how regular the coaching is. I think it's a bit on and off. But DutchArmy in the last couple of years has also really powered up his game and gotten a lot better. So some days he does get absolutely smashed like Dimon, just like everyone else, and then other days he goes toe-to-toe or even can take a game or two off of Dimon, and that all is a little bit variable, but also this game is from January of 2022, so this is not old DutchArmy, who was not very good and would just get steamrolled by Dimon. And, yeah, so we get to see how DutchArmy goes against Dimon, one of the best in the game. Super Reactor going to be coming up. Oh, no. Okay, well, wow. You get to see it here. When you feel bad for making a mistake, just know that Dimon makes mistakes also. If DutchArmy feels... Let's kind of open the veil a little bit here. If DutchArmy wins this game and he sent this in, then I don't know that you could take this as a totally clean victory. No oil derrick for DutchArmy at this point. Dimon does have his own oil derrick, but... Wow, okay, so this game off to a wonky start. Not a usual game. I wonder, I don't know who sent this in or where it came from. This may have been... someone else sent it to my email. It may have been DutchArmy sent it to my email. Or it's possible I pulled this off of the replay tab, but I'm getting suspicious that DutchArmy didn't realize when he played this game that Dimon's refinery was off like that, and so he thought he just got a straight-up win against Dimon. But let's see how this game progresses. My predictions aside... Let's see what Dimon is actually able to do. Keep in mind, a third refinery is coming up. So all things considered, Dimon is one of the more efficient Soviet players. But as a general rule, Soviet does require more refineries to be on sort of equal footing with the efficiency of allies. Super late on the War Factory, after third refinery, after super reactor, Dimon is playing a pretty greedy style of Soviets and a crusher crane right out of the gate as well. So no terror drones, no sickles, no bullfrogs from the beginning. That's why we saw this wall of flak troopers, and so far it has worked out. So right now it's 3 refineries to 3 refineries, but of course Dimon has that broken refinery. So in reality, the economy is on the side of DutchArmy, and it looks like DutchArmy is going to be making out with a sneaky engineer to the left side of the map, which is interesting because that's where he's already got an oil derrick. So maybe he does have plans to try and sneak an engineer around the side of Dimon's base, and we'll see how well this terror drone is able to stop that from happening. Maybe not at all, or maybe quite easily. The bear does get sniped, so Dimon does have some kind of vision that this is happening. Meanwhile, in the middle of the map, and it looks like the Riptide is just going to get stopped in its tracks. In the middle of the map, we saw some Vindicators circling around. Terror drone is going to get sniped, it looked like. Oh, no, the Vindicator's instead going for the hammer tank to try and weaken it. Second Vindicator coming in. There's the kill of the hammer tank, and the Riptide, for the current moment at least, does escape. Airfield triple, no, quad Vindicator there for that DutchArmy airfield. Lots of damage output, but not a lot of versatility. Conscripts being added on by Dimon, and a very passive game from Dimon overall. I think that's sort of telegraphed by the fact that he misplaced that refinery, which he hasn't sold off and replaced or anything. He is just keeping it. So slow income is, in his mind, better than fixing that mistake, and maybe he is indeed right. Refinery potentially under threat. Vindicators come in, 4 Vindicators, but no Bullfrogs to give chase, so the hammer tanks do take the brunt of that damage. A couple of conscripts and flak troopers pressing forward. A couple of bears as well to help deal with peacekeepers or potential javelin soldiers, as Dimon looking to put the pressure on this refinery. If he can take down the refinery, then he finally cements himself into a solid position in this game. Just Riptides on the front line. No cryocopters. Vindicators coming in for another pass. 1 Vindicator down. Second Vindicator does get caught right on the edge of the range of those flak troopers, just barely going down. And the hammer tank's going to be able to leech some of the health out of this refinery, but there's the cryoblast. Easily avoided with just a minor cryo shot coming down from the sky. Not one of the bigger area cryoblasts or cryogeddon, of course. Vindicator's going to have a real tough problem now that some of the flak troopers are inside of that building. And it doesn't look like any buildings have been captured on the DutchArmy or on the Dimon side of the map. Looks like a Riptide gun was grabbed by that hammer tank, so he's going to have that anti-infantry weapon packed along with his main gun. Even with as wonky of a game this was from the beginning from Dimon, he is still putting out an impressive army and taking DutchArmy to task, despite literally being at an economic advantage since almost the beginning of the game. Wouldn't mind seeing Dimon sneak something off to kill that oil derrick as well, just to deny that from DutchArmy. Vindicators coming back in. 1 Vindicator down. A second Vindicator does fall, but he's trading that out for 2 hammer tanks. So DutchArmy is going to be okay with the trade. It's not cost-effective, but killing those hammer tanks is of paramount importance, because dealing with the infantry is a lot easier when there aren't a bunch of hammers in your face running over your guys and causing problems. A couple of Riptides going out for the harassment and expansion out to the water. DutchArmy playing a very active game, all things considered. He is not going balls to the wall craziness like Yurii or some of those guys who just go nuts with their strategy, pivoting in every direction and trying to find angles. But he is staying active. I love the Riptides on the north side of the map. I love the expansion down to the south, and the fact that he was trying to do some stuff with an engineer earlier as well. Dimon wanting to put on the pressure. He is going to sneak in here with a couple of Twin Blades, gets the kill on the Harvester, leeching down slowly that multi-gunner turret, and Dimon is still playing full power, it seems, even though he placed the refinery like it was me. One Riptide, no, I thought one Riptide had been eliminated, but they are both still there. The Hammer Tank is also here. 2 Hammer Tanks for 2 Riptides, and both of these guys splitting their attention from the north and the south. Infantry go backwards, tanks go forward, but easy to avoid just that simple cryo shot. It's not one of the bigger area ones, and this building will finally be broken. DutchArmy is going to be glad to not have to deal with that building anymore. Twin Blades will be able to snipe that Peacekeeper, and finally the Riptides do go down. The threat has been eliminated, and Dimon does set up a water expansion out there at the same time. DutchArmy taking his own. Twin Blade's going to be sniping that oil derrick as well, so eventually that will get cleaned up. One Riptide out to the water. Great harassment from DutchArmy, trying to split off as few units as he can, and the oil derrick actually survives. The Apollo will take a bit of damage, but that Twin Blade crashing into the flak troopers, and no MiGs to give chase, so that Apollo will skate away cleanly. And also, no bullfrogs on the ground. There's a flak cannon out here in the water, but the Riptide doesn't care much for that. And, well, the Twin Blade will eventually make its way out there to try and push away the Riptide, and then maybe the Apollo will come to kill and sacrifice itself for the health of that Riptide. But no, the Apollo goes back home. DutchArmy will be shut down out at the water, and, well, at the very least, he stopped mining for a good long time and really disrupted Dimon in that sector. Vindicator on the right side. DutchArmy and Dimon, neither one of them have been able to take that. And oh, so many tanks about to explode, and just barely DutchArmy gets it in just enough time. I cannot believe he managed to pull that off. It looked like the Hammer Tanks were going to be able to cross, and Dimon just committing to that. Drunk Dimon might be in control now, as this sentry gun kills almost all of the units that were attacking, but that Riptide absorbing the brunt of the damage. 2 Hammer Tanks trying to sneak in the back door at the same time. Those Javelin Soldiers will be eventually dealt with by the Twin Blades. Goodbye, Javelin Soldiers. And finally, the walls are safe. The walls of that refinery, as it looks like Vindicator's probably cleaned up those Hammer Tanks. Satellites getting rained down, and goodbye, Peacekeeper. A little bit of splash damage on the other power plant, but overall, both players absorbing the attacks of their opponent, pivoting and finding new avenues to progress the game. Vindicator is going to split. Nice split there by DutchArmy. It doesn't totally work out. He loses one Vindicator, and he might lose another one as they turn to land, but the MiGs aren't going to press into that many Javelin Soldiers, so for the current moment, they are safe. Twin Blade's going to be split back off this oil derrick. Well, with how much cash he spent repairing it, I don't know how much it's really been worth in the last minute, but at least he did try and save it, and now that Apollo gets dealt with. A second Apollo as well gets eliminated, but he draws the MiGs into the Javelin. No, not enough, and Dimon keeps all 4 MiGs alive. He gets the kill on the oil derrick as well. Great decision-making, great control by Dimon. Just making the best out of that situation. 2 Vindicators getting split off. He's going to try and go for the Harvester. He might be able to get a big chunk of damage out of that Harvester. IFV in the middle of the map, taking a bit of damage from those flaks, and he does not want to commit. So you can go for it. It's not necessarily effective if you don't deal with the flak cannon, but he decides not to go for it. Dimon still with this wonky refinery there on the north side of the island. 16,000 credits. About 4,000 credits behind the other refinery. Oh, something that we all do at some point, but you're always surprised when someone like Dimon does it. A very airfield-centric play from DutchArmy, but not cryocopter-centric. This guy is not playing cryocopters at all. He does clean up that terror drone. 2 Vindicators just to really make him pay for it. You know, gonna drop way more bombs than you need. Naval Yard gets established. Looks like a flak cannon and a Tesla coil both getting deployed onto the front line. And, well, actually, no, the Naval Yard does get canceled and destroyed there as the Athena cannon starts targeting it down. Ooh, Dimon is like, oh, I got my own tier 3, but I really don't want to mess with that Athena cannon. Kirovs seem to be the name of the game in these two matches. Kirovs coming forth from our Soviet players. Actually, both yellow Soviet players as well. Flak cannon still keeping that expansion safe. The new placement of that naval yard is a much better location for Dimon. MiGs looking for some targets, and they may actually find this Vindicator over here on the left side of the map. Cleans up that Vindicator very nicely done by DutchArmy, or by Dimon. Meanwhile, in the middle of the map, DutchArmy starting to make some headway. He's going to turn around, try and dodge the satellites, and he will. Oh, come on. DutchArmy driving his Mirage right into that satellite, dodging it with the entire army, and then making that one mistake with that one unit. Javelin soldiers getting pushed back by the rockets from the V4. Vindicator coming in for a pass, and the Kirovs are here, and this is where DutchArmy realizes how dire his situation really is. Dreadnought out on the water, the Athena cannons burn it down, but this Soviet power has not been unlocked yet. Cryoblast going to be firing off, and it will push the ground army forward and back at the same time. Another Dreadnought out of the naval yard and just barely escapes the wrath of those Athena cannons. There actually isn't much of a ground army since those hammer tanks got cleaned up. It's all about the artillery, all about the Kirovs, and the first cryocopter now coming into play. The Athena cannons are here, and they're targeting down the naval yard. That is the last dreadnought that will be produced by Dimon, and Dimon passive with these Kirovs. What is he doing, letting this army just walk all over him? He does get the infect on that Mirage tank, and he will get the kill on it, but he does have to sacrifice basically all of his V4s to make that happen. The Athena cannon burning down the base defenses, the Mirage tank working on the con yard, and this Athena cannon having to cut and run to escape those Kirovs. The apocalypse is here as DutchArmy tries to find any value that he possibly can, utilizing his peacekeepers against the ore collector. Never a thing that you want to be doing as your primary attacking force, but when you're pushed into a corner, there's little else you can do. The Mirage tank and the Athena cannon, if they draw this out, he goes for the crush, and the shrink with the Mirage tank crush brings the end of the apocalypse. And oh, DutchArmy pulling out the plays from nowhere. The Peacekeepers still uncontested, doing basically nothing against that Harvester with the repairs. The Mirage tank is here. He grabs the fully heroic Athena cannon. There's the Shrink once again coming online. The second APOC tank wasn't able to grab that Athena cannon, and just at the edge of range there, that Apocalypse tank manages to escape. The MiGs may literally have to sacrifice themselves to kill off that. Oh, actually, both of these naval yards are working at once. The Dreadnought comes on out. Two IFVs get grabbed, but there's the shrink of one APOC tank. He's going to still grind down that IFV. The second IFV gets eliminated in mere moments, and finally that APOC tank breaks free to run for that Athena cannon. And too far forward, 3 cryocopters are here. DutchArmy resulting to the plays of all allied players. You try and go on even footing, and you just can't, so you pull out the cryocopters, and that is the way to win the game. The cryocopters shrink and freeze. That Dreadnought has to run for its life, and the Kirovs, which have been so close to being good, have been unable to actually kill anything. They're going to go for the Mirage tank, just barely. They won't get it as it does stop moving, and the MCV gets eliminated. The Mirage tank gets crushed, and that Cryogeddon is going to keep the army of Dimon away from the front line. Cryocopter freezing down, and that Kirov will survive, at least for the current moment. Dimon and DutchArmy have mostly stopped harassing, but Dimon forcing the MCV to pack up and run. There goes the advantage in tech that Dutch potentially had, but the cryocopters will shrink and freeze this Dreadnought once again. DutchArmy finding his real value from the cryocopters. Dimon almost able to outplay him, but it comes down to those air forces from the allied player, and this is just not enough from Dimon. Both dreadnoughts going down. It feels like the symbolic end of the road for Dimon. Before the cryocopters were here, before the total air superiority of DutchArmy was in play, it felt like Dimon was about to run away with the game and just crush Dutch. One MiG is out. I feel like at this point you probably need 2 airfields worth of MiGs and then just know that you're going to sacrifice them all to the IFVs or the Javelin soldiers. But those cryocopters are completely brick walling Dimon. MiG swinging through. Naval Yard is now here for DutchArmy, and he is almost certainly... Well, he might be going hydrofoils. I was going to say definitely going for the aircraft carrier, but there's a possibility that he goes hydrofoils as well. 1 cryocopter down. 2 MiGs not able to pursue. And yeah, if he could kill those cryocopters, that would eliminate so many problems for him. I guess you'd have to follow it up with a 1-2 punch of killing the airfield as well. Harvester goes down, gets restarted immediately. Nicely done there by Dimon. And, well, he's going to get the Mirage tank with the Terror Drone surprise, so that's good. Ultra Torpedoes come out. The aircraft carrier absorbs the damage there, and the Cryocopter does survive the onslaught. 1 Terror Drone is unable to infect and kill that aircraft carrier, but at least he holds it in place as the EMP locks down those APOC tanks. And finally, the aircraft carrier coming back online to fire another volley of drones at the APOC tank. And unfortunately for Dimon, this is going to be a costly victory if he's going to be able to take this one. Flak Troopers coming forward. They are able to clean up one of the Mirage tanks. The other Mirage tank barely escaping inside of the Aegis shield of that Athena cannon. And the APOC tanks being shrunk down just completely removes them from the fight. Finally, that APOC tank gets a kill, and the Cryocopters get pushed back. Oh my gosh, is Dimon going to be able to do this after all of the attacks that DutchArmy threw at him, after all of the attempts to stop his pressure? Dimon is once again on the cusp of victory. The Cryocopters still stand, and the ground army has been thwarted. But Dimon is still in the game, and DutchArmy at some point did lose his refinery out on the water, so he has been choked a little bit by Dimon. He's got that free trade upgrade. He's got the additional income from each load of ore, so that income does go a little bit further. Those 3 ore refineries act a bit more like 4 ore refineries. Maybe even 4 and a little bit more. Javelin Soldier does get pushed out of there, and finally this Dreadnought is able to bring the pain, bring the fire against DutchArmy. Almost might be better to go for the airfield just to stop any additional Cryocopters from being produced. We're back up to 3 Cryocopters. The Twin Blades are here, but they're not going to do anything. I think that might have been a misrally. Oh no, he's going for the bridge. He's going to be able to take down the bridge, but of course the air units care not at all for that. I love this by Dimon, splitting up those Twin Blades, going for different targets in different areas and letting the Dreadnought continue to do its work. And just barely, that airfield does survive. The Vindicator comes in for another pass against that Dreadnought, and is it barely out of range? He needs to get that airfield. The Vindicator is refueling, which could be shut down potentially by these Twin Blades. They're going to trade out their lives, and no, the Vindicator does get back off the deck. So that might be the end of this Dreadnought. We'll see if it survives the night. It does pass through the Vindicators, but not the IFVs, as the Cryocopters shut it down, and the airfield survives. DutchArmy may not have been able to get the kill on that Dreadnought if it wasn't for the help of that Vindicator. IFVs closing in on the Kirov, and the Kirov is heading for that airfield. The 2 barracks as well, producing Javelin soldiers to try and stop the Soviet menace from pushing any further forward. And Dimon behind this is going to have another Dreadnought pumping missiles into the Allied base. And once and for all, the Kirov, once again rather, the Kirov does not find its mark, does not find a kill, but it will do damage into the boot camp as it crashes down. Cryocopters once again escaping, and here comes the rain as the satellites come down and the power plant gets sold off. Dimon and DutchArmy going back and forth. Dimon playing a fantastic game. DutchArmy doing unbelievably well. And Dimon still doing it all with this broken harvester out there at that ore refinery. Misplaced from just about the first minute in the game. And DutchArmy is just battered and bruised, broken and bleeding, still trying to fight the good fight. And actually, he might get an aircraft carrier out here on the water. Reestablished, and oh, the toxins coming in! Not something we see very often, but I guess that is the way you use that. The corrosive on that unit, and then you sickle jump into your opponent's infantry, and they kill the sickle, but they kill themselves at the same time. 5 APOC tanks, finally more, 6 APOC tanks, finally more APOC tanks than there are cryocopters, and this may actually be too much. Dimon might just be too full power for DutchArmy to deal with. Cryogeddon coming in, it catches 3, maybe 4 conscripts there, but of course the majority of the army is here. Bullfrogs, a couple of bullfrogs might be a necessary addition, but let's see how those flak troopers are able to do. 5 or 6 APOC tanks will absolutely shred a base in no time flat. Cryocopters coming back in. They get 2 more shrinks on these APOC tanks. As soon as the Peacekeepers can close the distance with the APOC tanks, they will clean them up relatively quickly. Dreadnought cleans up another power plant. Aircraft carrier makes its pass at this refinery, and this may actually turn into a bit of a base race, but of course one guy's units can't swim. And Dimon might have a real problem if he is not able to kill that water expansion. His twin blades might be really his only option. The APOC tanks closing in the Mirage, and the Peacekeepers going to hold the line for as long as they can, but it's too much Soviet firepower as Dimon rolls over DutchArmy's army. And the GG gets called. DutchArmy throws in the towel, and Dimon brings the game back. Wow, with that refinery placement at the beginning, I thought for sure DutchArmy was going to be taking it, but it just did not happen. And Dimon staying ahead on income absolutely everywhere, and choking out DutchArmy was the way he was able to take that game. What a match there on Snowplow from these two, and we're going to check out another replay, which takes us to the map Rock Ridge, featuring the capturable airport in the middle of the map as the red allies. This is KingKonG. His ally in the south is the Yellow Empire. This, moving that MCV, is GGOT. And kicking it to the east side of the map for our other 2 players in this 2v2. This is Ready Player One, the blue allies, and as the purple Soviets rounding us out, this is SamBack, aka Sniper. I think when he came back to the game, he played under the name SamBack, which is what he's currently playing with in this game. War Factory right out of the front door from KingKonG. This is a War Factory before second refinery. Right away. Is that a fast? That's a fast third. Okay. Classic Empire stuff. Take 3 refineries, and then probably in the chat you type, hey, can you drop a multi-gunner turret in my base to defend me? But we'll see exactly what Sniper decides to do. It's going to be a super reactor after that War Factory. First couple of scouting bears heading around the map. War Factory actually first pretty much as well from Ready Player One. So both allied players going for the early War Factory, but okay, never mind. There's the sell-off. He just wanted some IFVs, and the engineer will be inside of one of them, heading off to probably a contested oil derrick. Airfield is going to be the follow-up, and the Terror Drone gets the infect on the Harvester, but the Tengu gets the kill on the Terror Drone. IFVs heading out. No, an IFV and a Riptide mixed together, so that oil derrick of KingKonG maybe captured by Ready Player One. What is about to pop out of this Riptide? Is it going to be all Javelin soldiers all the time? And it's up to this Riptide to try and get the Peacekeepers down. Nice control there by KingKonG to block off that one Javelin soldier as he jumps inside of the Riptide. And the Javelin soldiers slowly but surely work away at those Peacekeepers. And hey, even the block coming in here from Sniper, able to take down, able to stop those Javelin soldiers from eliminating that refinery wall very quickly. Riptide goes down, uses 2 Vindicators on that. 1 Vindicator does go down. KingKonG barely able to take that down. And you gotta split up your Javelin soldiers if you want to defeat those walls. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, no barracks block here from an Empire player, of course. It's only SamBack that's going to be able to utilize that ability. Couple of hammer tanks, couple of Tengus getting pushed around by this one hammer tank and one terror drone, one bullfrog as well, just missing a sickle, and then it would be a perfect flush of early Soviet units, early game Soviet units. One Javelin soldier not being targeted down here. Finally, the Peacekeepers see their opportunity and take him down, but the remaining Javelin soldiers might just barely. No, they don't have the DPS. The dog able to shut them down, and the Peacekeepers get the lock. What an incredibly close almost kill on that refinery. Ready Player One is the readiest one player in this game, and there's that multi-gunner turret here to help defeat that terror drone. Second harvester to get eliminated pretty much right in the first couple of minutes of this game. GGOT having a difficult time keeping 3 harvesters working, but that is the nice thing for him. That Vindicator gets sniped, and the Vindicator crashes into the refinery, almost killing it once again, but not killing it. By the way, that oil derrick slowly but surely being worked away by the forces of KingKonG, and man, oh man, these 2 players just will not stop with that aggression. KingKonG trying desperately to kill that refinery, and Sniper coming in here desperately to try and kill this Empire player before he has much of a chance to get up and running. And one of the weaknesses of that 3 refinery start is that early game. Now, fortunately for GGOT, he's got a teammate to help him out with the multi-gunner turret, but also this is not the fastest build from a Soviet player to try and go for that aggression. So the 3 refineries, I think at this point, has paid off, and the stabilization can really come through. KingKonG completely missing out on that oil derrick, and, well, he at least denies it to his opponent. A couple of Apollos swinging through the north side of the map. SamBack presses forward with those twin blades. Another Tengu coming through for the harass. GGOT finding the damage that needs to be done, and it looks like that Tengu will get eliminated. Nicely done there by Sniper. Multi-gunner IFV coming in with a cryo shot as well. Doesn't even need to use the Vindicator, but also doesn't send the Vindicator home soon enough, and the Apollos will get the kill there. And the Harvester does get protected by the Javelin Soldier. An additional Guardian Tank coming in here. KingKonG keeping up the aggression, but it's Guardian Tank versus 3 Javelin Soldiers, and that just isn't going to go well. Apollos clean up a Twin Blade in the middle of the map, but now the Bullfrogs are here to push away everything in the sky. KingKonG setting up that Tier 2 MCV, finally getting that extra refinery up and running. Takes a refinery over here next to the MCV of GGOT, but GGOT took the refinery on the far side, so I guess it all kind of evens out. A couple of Peacekeepers are here on the ground, but in the sky, it's the Apollos who are battling as the Vindicators come in to break down some of these walls and potentially eliminate targets for Ready Player One to do some real damage. The Peacekeepers working away at this power plant. Taking down the walls is a good choice with those Vindicators. Allow the Peacekeepers to do as much damage as possible, and just everything is popping off on this map. A harvester goes down there. More reinforcements coming in for Ready Player One in the north, and it looks like it's going to be Tengus against Twin Blades in the south, but the Bullfrogs are here. 3 Twin Blades go down, and eventually that oil derrick will get eliminated. The hits just keep coming as a Tengu kills a harvester in the north, and 2 tsunami tanks closing in the south. There's the transform on top of the Bullfrogs. 1-2 Bullfrogs going to be able to go down. 3rd Bullfrog does escape, and the hammer tank going to be pushing around those Tengus, at least for the current moment. Apollo's swinging through IFVs as well, but KingKonG has not kicked Ready Player One out of his base. KingKonG might have to become a naval force in this game. 3 Guardian tanks is going to be difficult to dislodge. No terror drones inside of these tsunami tanks, but right there, finally, one gets the infect, splitting the damage across multiple targets. GGOT is going to find it difficult to actually kill anything with those kind of choices. Another Twin Blade goes down. A terror drone gets the kill on that tsunami tank, but another terror drone emerges to kill the 2nd tsunami, and these Tengus are going to have not much to do in the sky, and unfortunately not much to do on the ground if they just get cleaned up by that terror drone. The airfield is going to go down eventually, and just barely, it looks like GGOT will get the kill on the terror drone as well. Hammer tanks showing up, Riptides in the north though, as Ready Player One keeps up the pressure, keeps up the aggression, and kills another refinery, getting that fully heroic status on that harvester kill, or on that refinery kill. And unfortunately for KingKonG, I don't think he has a single working harvester on the field, though he does right there in the middle of the map. And more reinforcements coming in from GGOT, but it won't be enough to save this airfield. Just barely these Riptides will get the kill there. And unfortunately for those Tengus, they just aren't quite fast enough. Fully heroic Tengu in the mix, double vet Tengu as well. And the war factory is back up and running. The refineries are going to be coming back online, but at the same time, Sniper, it looks like, has also stabilized, pushing GGOT out of his base. He's going to maybe rebuild that airfield. The Crusher Crane is coming up as well, so SamBack is not backing off just yet. Tengu's going to transform on top of that harvester and maybe just go for the kill. Bullfrog and a terror drone pushing across the bottom of the map. Hammer tanks continuing to work away at those forces. KingKonG getting pushed back once again. Ready Player One's defense feels impenetrable, but let's see if KingKonG can manage to finally do something. No, even the multi-gunner IFE, oh, it barely escapes. Not that it's going to be able to do very much. GGOT keeping up the damage, keeping up the pressure with Tengus. Those versatile attacking menaces are the only way that our team on the left side has really been able to put the hurt and put the damage onto the team on the right side. Another hammer tank will fall, another terror drone spawns in, and another tsunami tank will be eliminated. Nice use of the stasis to stop these tsunami tanks from being able to escape, but finally they will get the speed boost activated, and they will be able to make it to that war factory for those repairs. Bullfrog's getting cut down. SamBack, aka Sniper, is having a difficult time actually finishing off GGOT, and the last couple of attacks have not been nearly as successful or as strong as the first couple of attacks. KingKonG, that backdoor expansion over here has been absolutely saving him in this game. Another terror drone. Oh, he must be firing them from the Bullfrogs up to the high ground. What a great play there by Sniper, using terror drones to snipe his opponent. And the first cryocopter is here. Ready Player One versus the cryocopters of KingKonG. And these Apollos might need to commit to this attack. Chased down, there actually isn't anything really there to kill off those Apollos. He's going for the Vindicator as well. The Vindicator has already dropped its bombs, but the Vindicator does go down. A second Vindicator is ready and waiting. Twin Blades trying to find a good opportunity to engage. A good angle to fit in there And, well, SamBack is here. This sniper is here with the Tesla coils to shut down the refinery and keep up the pressure. He decides, I want to kill GGOT pretty much here and now, and that is pretty much it. 2 more Guardian tanks are going to get sniped. Finally, some Chopper VXs showing up just in time for the Apollos to snipe it, and the Tengu's unable to clear both of the Apollos. They do get 1 on the retreat as both of those Guardian tanks go down, and Ready Player One's defense crumbles a little bit, but the attacks don't stop coming, at least in the south, as KingKonG keeps up the pressure with this 1 cryocopter. He's finally finding a bit of aggression that actually works. Not much that KingKonG has been able to do on the right side of the map before this cryocopter, and the perfect combination of 3 Apollos, a Vindicator, and a cryocopter allows KingKonG. Oh, come on, KingKonG! And unfortunately, that happens to us all. A little premature evacuation of that bomb. You drop it just a bit early before the freeze is ready. And another striker does go down. Sniper getting so much value with those terror drones, and you lose a harvester, well, you build a new refinery. That appears to be the philosophy of Sniper. Tengu's coming through. Well, actually, a couple of flak troopers in that building, a good choice. You know, no battle bunkers, but flak troopers in a building's a good opportunity here, and I love the inclusion of the tank buster surprise. That's something that I always struggle to actually get good value out of. I'm terrible at using the tank buster surprise, but that looks like a good spot to drop 1 in. Cryo Blast coming in here. I don't think he'll get the refinery, but the harvester. Oh, no, he does get the refinery as well, but not the harvester. The Apollos get the kill on the Vindicator, but it's too late as the refinery gets sniped. Meanwhile, the Guardian tanks of Ready Player One are in the main base of KingKonG, tearing it all down. A couple of Javelin soldiers are here, and the cryocopter is actually unmatched, as there is nothing here to stop that cryocopter. Finally, the IFV does show up, but it's attacking the MCV and not actually going... Oh, no, that's a cryocopter from KingKonG, so no IFV from KingKonG will be attacking that. And unfortunately for KingKonG, his defense is pretty much entirely this 1 cryocopter, so he might take another harvester or refinery loss, and this MCV might just keep up the pressure forever. These tank buster surprise moving in on the main base of Ready Player One, who's gonna have to try and find the damage with this 1 Peacekeeper, and these Peacekeepers will absolutely kill off these tank busters, but a heroic tank buster does decent damage to a Peacekeeper. And so when they're all grouped up together like that, the tank busters can eliminate those Peacekeepers 1 by 1 as they pop out of those dead buildings. Tsunami tanks from GGOT clearing out pretty much the entire main base of SamBack, our only Soviet player, but I just realized the MCV is on the other side of the map, so maybe they're going to try and do a little do-si-do, a little switcheroo, as these guys might be trading places, as no, it looks like GGOT hasn't been completely kicked out of its own main base. Ready Player One might be taking over KingKonG's old main base if he keeps taking more and more pressure, and actually there's a decent amount of cash here, so it would be worth it for Ready Player One to take these refineries and to start killing off the rest of KingKonG's stuff. There's the low power mode, needs to go ahead and snipe that multi-gunner turret so that he doesn't have an opportunity to kill any more stuff of Ready Player One. War Factory is here, and that cryocopter just barely is going to survive long enough to get the repairs. The Bullfrog is nearby, but the Bullfrog doesn't find the damage against that cryocopter. 2 Bullfrogs almost able to kill off that cryo, but not quite able to reach it, and he's not paying attention. He can get the kill on it, but no, the cryocopter does skate away. KingKonG getting pressured from pretty much all sides. The Bullfrogs do finally clean up that cryo, and this MCV is not moving anywhere. KingKonG saying, hey man, is there anything you can do to help me? The airfield of Ready Player One getting targeted down. Those 3 tsunami tanks, don't think they will be stopped, and the MCV goes down. KingKonG might be dead in the water, and his production and economy is maybe about to completely expire. I don't think he has a naval yard anywhere, so it's down to this 1 war factory as KingKonG has basically nothing left. and it's going to be about the pivot for Ready Player One as well. These tsunami tanks might be stopped by the crowd of infantry. A couple of javelin soldiers do go down, and the last peacekeepers get eliminated by the crush of that tsunami tank. Four new javelin soldiers are showing up, and GGOT is going to be the hero of our team on the left side as a Cryogeddon fires off, completely repositioning this army. Two tsunami tanks do get targeted, but the balloon bombs are going to help them break the front line of this. Oh, those tsunami tanks almost not being eliminated, but finally the Peacekeeper does come through to get the kill. Every single building of Ready Player One is getting sniped by GGOT, and the War Factory just barely won't survive the night. Another IFV does emerge, and just barely the Conscript actually getting the final shots there against that War Factory, and it looks like the last buildings... Oh no, he does still have a refinery, or maybe even two refineries. So that is going to be it, except for Peacekeepers from KingKonG, because he can build command posts. And now KingKonG is just going to go all-out aggression. I mean, you might as well. The MCV is on the retreat. Ready Player One has been unable to successfully establish an expansion in KingKonG's old main base. KingKonG has been pretty much knocked out, but now he's just going to be targeting down Ready Player One with these IFVs, and IFV repair is actually pretty darn good in this particular case. GGOT has done a really good job of pivoting and defending. He has survived every attack that Sniper has thrown at him, and even defended KingKonG in the north. GGOT coming through on the defense and the offense pretty much all game long. Eventually this War Factory will get targeted down the A. The Harvester coming in for the crush gets one of those tank busters, and the Javelin Soldier's going to try and work away on those Tengus. The MCV coming in for the crush, two Tengus down. No, IFB as well. This MCV going on a Wreck-It Derby as he is just looking to crush absolutely everything, roll through the forces of GGOT and KingKonG. I think KingKonG is down to just one IFV, but in the south, the Strikers are looking for the attack. They're moving out against the base of Sniper. The MCV getting targeted down, and it will get sniped. Hit for hit, GGOT takes down the MCV of Ready Player One, and both allied players are basically out of this game. I think there might still be a production facility on the right side of the map, but KingKonG has been defeated, and unfortunately for Ready Player One, he doesn't realize that that Harvester is offline, so he has one refinery left and a barracks, but he doesn't realize that it's offline. Fortunately, he's got an oil derrick as well, and now it's up to GGOT to really make the 2v1 happen. He's got one allied refinery in the north. I guess he's got one there as well, so that's still a bit of cash coming in for GGOT. Ready Player One placing a beacon. I think he just spotted these chopper VXs and is like, hey man, can you do anything about this? You got any MiGs? The cliffs do make it difficult for the Bullfrogs to traverse this area. Twin Blades are here, but of course the Bullfrogs are the things you actually want, and you can just transform those Strikers on the high ground, and it takes a while for the Bullfrogs to reposition, and you can maybe get the kill on those Twin Blades in the meantime. Ooh, flying over the building, and those flak troopers coming back into play, coming back to get massive effect against those Strikers, and finding another refinery weakened and almost destroyed, and these Strikers will be able to get the kill before the Bullfrogs show up. Another Striker will fall, but the heroic one survives, and it looks like GGOT is finding bits of damage. He's basically in a 1v1 with a little bit of allied infantry support as well, and keeping every unit alive is absolutely crucial here, as the MiG's going to be getting targeted down by these Tengus. Pretty decent Tengu numbers. If they choose to engage the MiGs, they can take them with those point defense drones. Bullfrogs are nearby, which does complicate the matter for certain. Javelin soldiers garrisoning up those structures, as many as they can. A really good move there by Ready Player One. I mean, get as much value for those Javelin soldiers as you possibly can, and do as much as you can to distract the opponent. At this point, Ready Player One and Sniper need to just commit to the attack, but from multiple fronts, and GGOT can't defend everywhere at once. Twin Blades coming in. Multi-gunner turret is online, though, to push those guys back. Sniper trying to establish a fresh refinery in the north, trying to take some of the economy that Ready Player One is unable to utilize. Balloon bombs getting called in, and eventually this barracks will go down. Meanwhile, in the south, and okay, it looks like that's it with the sell-off of that barracks. That's pretty much it. Refinery does get sniped. Still 6 grand left in that ore node. Every single Tengu goes down, and it looks like Sniper might be able to take this one single-handedly now that it's down to just a 1v1. Actually, this is still a good number of Javelin soldiers, so I would not count Ready Player One out just yet. He's going to actually get a Tengu on the exit, and he's going to get these tank busters as well. They all go down there, and unfortunately for GGOT, it might just be too much pressure over time. He's got the Yurii mini-subs. He might be able to go for the exit on the Yurii mini-subs and go for the kill of that refinery, but no, he doesn't manage it in time. Naval Yard does get sniped, and that is it for the naval forces of GGOT. Ooh, the Bullfrog is nearby, or no, a flak cannon actually, not a Bullfrog. But this airfield is actually vulnerable, and also the Naval Yard might be able to be taken down. No, the Bullfrogs are here, the MiGs as well. There's the Transform and the Point Defense drones to save these strikers, and they're going to get 1 MiG and some Twin Blades as well. 2 MiGs go down, and unfortunately they're targeting a 3rd mid when all of the Twin Blades show up. It would have been a short fight anyways, but they might have actually gotten a Twin Blade or 2. Javelin soldiers moving out in the north, and it looks like Sniper, oh my gosh, another Naval Yard. He's trying to sneak a Naval Yard any way that he possibly can, but that will do it. It looks like finally Ready Player One and Sniper were able to make it happen, coming through clutch to win the game. KingKonG and GGOT fighting well, and GGOT almost managing the 1v2 comeback. What a great performance by that guy. He was everywhere on the map and just bringing the pain with the offense and the defense. SamBack and Ready Player One doing their part as well. But at the end of the day, SamBack just too big for GGOT to beat. That'll do it for this video. Thank you all very much for watching, and this is Cyber signing out.